Hello, Mr. Beard here. It's your class recap for Wednesday, January 18th. Because we took quite a few notes in the class today, I'm going to just click through the PowerPoint. You can also find this PowerPoint under the notes section on our class website. With that said, I'm going to talk you through briefly, and then we'll talk about what we did afterwards. Introductions are by far the most important components. Introductions and conclusions, are by far the most important components. Yes, the body is important, but people walk away remembering what you said in that conclusion. The entire tone is set in the introduction. So these are very important pieces of your speech. They grab the audience. They should grab the audience's attention. They should tell the audience very quickly what your topic is going to be. And they should establish your credibility as a speaker so that we listen to you as an audience. Remember, if we don't believe you, if we don't believe you're credible, if we don't believe you know what you're talking about, if we don't believe you have prepared for this in some way, we're probably going to tune you out. Make sure to preview what you're going to talk about, and then we're going to look at some different ways to begin. You can begin with a short story, a quote, a rhetorical question. You can refer to recent events, or you can talk about yourself. Some more ways you can begin. You can refer to the occasion. If you're at a wedding or a funeral, a banquet of some kind, you obviously probably want to acknowledge the occasion. You can begin with a startling fact or statistic. You can use humor. Now, note, please don't use this. If you don't find yourself funny, don't try to be. That's okay. Know thyself. If you have a great sense of humor and you feel comfortable delivering jokes, feel free to begin that way. If not, that's okay. Pick another way to begin. You can reference a historical event or a shared experience that everyone in the room would be familiar with. Or you can reference a previous speaker. Maybe they had a similar topic to you, or you want to just acknowledge how funny they were. It's a good way to connect to other speakers in the room. Always make sure you consider who your audience is. You want to keep them engaged by talking about things that are relevant to them. Keep time in mind, and keep your story short. Conclusions summarize the speech. They reemphasize the central idea. They motivate the audience to do something. And they provide closure. Please provide closure. Do not just have an abrupt ending where you just say, okay, that's it, I'm done. That will kill your conclusion score. You want to wrap it up and use methods that sum up what you're saying in some way, or call to action the audience to motivate them to do something in some way. Don't just say, that's it, that's all I have. Some ways you can combat that, some things you can do instead of that, is use any of the methods that we just talked about can also be used as conclusions. You can use a startling statistic to close. You can use a great quote to close. You can bring it all together and use the same quote if you like. It's called bookending or circular writing. Common pitfalls. Please don't apologize for not being prepared. Please don't tell us you were nervous. If you're nervous, that's totally fine. You were going to be nervous at some points during this course. That's okay. You don't have to apologize for that. Stand up there and fake it. That will make you more credible. When you come up there and tell us you're scared or that you didn't prepare, subconsciously the audience starts to tune you out a little bit. And make sure you consider what kind of mood you want to establish for the rest of the speech. And again, don't end too abruptly. We should kind of have an idea that you're winding down, and try not to teach us anything too new, since you're summing up. And the bottom line is, boys and girls, leave the audience with the memories you want them to have of your presentation. What do you want them to walk out of that door holding on to from your speech? That's it for the notes. Afterwards, we play the Don't Say game. We've been talking about vocal fillers and trying to avoid things such as or and instead just taking a brief pause. So we played a short game called the Don't Say game that we'll be coming back to. It's a great way to get up and talk in front of your peers while also focusing on using pauses effectively. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. Have a great afternoon.